I'm going to be starting off this episode of Skylanders Hunting with none other than a picture of all things. Now, I bet you're wondering, how come I've shown you a picture of a bunch of boxes with, of course, stuff filled in them? Because that's kind of what boxes do. They allow you to put other things, especially boxes, inside those boxes. Like, there's nothing better than a box inside a box. That's just boxception for you. But enough of reception jokes. Combine all of that packaging with the university tea, and so no doubt you guys are curious as to what's going on. And it basically involves the biggest stepping stone in my life thus far, because today is the day that I move into the University of Lincoln. That's right, I'm moving out for the first time. I'm going to be, heading towards my dreams and ambitions as a film director, and hopefully for the next 3 years of my life are going to just mark my path towards that goal, that ambition of mine. And this episode of Skylanders Hunting celebrates the first day of all that gloriousness. And on top of that, I'm also taking a bunch of Skylanders with me. So as you can tell, my shelf is a little worn thin with a few of the characters that I have decided to take with me, especially the Trap Team shelf. Who would have known I would have took a lot of Trap Team characters? It's almost like that's my favourite game. And I also have this medal, which I can't even remember where it's from. And you also have the crash dice from a previous episode. Remember those? I do. But yeah, even without all of the Skylanders on it, it's just so glorious, because that's how Skylanders works, Skylanders works in mysterious ways to where you can be satisfied with your collection, no matter how complete it is. And it's all the more glorious when you can take a rare character like Double Dare Trick Happy here and flex that you have him. Because yes, guys, in case you didn't know, I have this guy. In case you didn't know still, I still have this guy. Last time I checked, I still have this guy. I have this rare character guy who's a guy who's rare. And a lot of people don't have him, but I have him. He's right here, see, right in front of you. Right in front of you, where you can't have it, but I can have it. Because I have this guy. He's rare, and I have him. Isn't that amazing? But enough of a terrible flexing skill right there, or should I say latter off. We are going to cut to when, of course, I get to my university room, and I cannot wait. As you can tell, at this moment in time, I have my tea on, and I have the light on as well, since it's currently quite dark outside, since it took me a few hours not only to unpack, but also to meet my roommates, which is where the quiet tone comes in, because of course I want to respect them with it being so late and all. Regardless, I'm going to be giving you a tour of this here shelf now that it's all unpacked with. So this is basically the gist of the accommodation that I've moved into. We of course have the bed, my bamper rack in its glory, and of course the Crash Bandicoot mug from a few episodes back, and more importantly my deodorant, because I got to smell pleasantly and all. And then I've also got some fruit on the side here alongside some water to keep me going and all. But here's the thing that we are truly all interested in, the Skylanders I brought along. Now unfortunately I did have to keep it limited because there are only 2 shelves along here, but that didn't stop me from still bringing a ton of things to enjoy. So I have all 18 Trackmasters because I'm going to be doing a 500 subscriber live stream revolving around the need for the entire cast of them. On top of that, I also have all 16 light cores on me for a upcoming live lock, as well as several dragons as well for the upcoming live lock. And I have a rattle shake for another upcoming video. So basically I've planned ahead. I thought of the videos that I need to record whilst at uni, so naturally I've brought the characters that I need for said videos. And then up the top shelf right here I have a vehicle of every terrain, otherwise it's going to be kind of impossible to play superchargers without them. And on top of that I also have Stump Smash, Voodoo and Ninjini, all of which are for future episodes of Know Your Skylanders and Skylander Reviews. And of course I couldn't leave home without my boy, all 3 of him more specifically. So yes, that's the limited palette I'm working with. It's just been created in mind of future Know Your Skylanders and Reviews, as well as future locks, future live streams, and as well for an inversion log, which is no doubt live on my channel by now, with the cores that are inside this here Skylanders treasure chest merch that I bought a while back, the Sky Timber. So yeah, nice little intriguing setup I have going on for myself right here, as well as, you know, a few Blu-rays hiding around the back here, and the oh so important How to Train Your Dragon merch I've brought along. So just my beanie right here, my top trumps, which I need to rematch Luke at again to hopefully receive myself a victory. You know, it's a long time coming, Luke. I will one day dethrone you. Regardless of that, I also have my oh so important How to Train Your Dragon 2 and Hidden World Blu-rays, because the Wi-Fi here isn't great. So being able to watch them without the need for streaming services will be quite glorious indeed. So I'm just outside my accommodation balcony at night, and all I can say is that the view of that glorious cathedral is made all the more better with just how well lit it is. Like, seriously, look at that. It is epic, to say the least. I could say more, but I'm not, just why the least is being said all the same. But yeah, I'm loving this balcony right here, and I'm loving the view that it can provide for us. And so, in direct contrast to what the cathedral looks like at day and night, here it is with the daylight, of course, setting in and us not being able to see any lights. Because if they were on, it would be kind of useless, considering that the daylight would mask the sight of the lights anyway. Regardless, with actual natural daylight to speak of, I can finally show you the balcony in its entirety, because, you know, that would have been kind of difficult early on without any sort of light to see the balcony with. But yeah, pretty cool little area. Nice if you just want to sit out in the sun and just have a nice good old cup of tea. Am I right or am I right? Didn't give you much choice in those two options, which therefore makes me right. So after I checked out the balcony again this morning, I showered, as you can tell from wet hair, and then outside my window you can see that I have a nice window side view of the cathedral of all things. Isn't that glorious? I don't even need to go all the way out to the balcony to see it. I can just see it from back here. Every time I see it, the building astonishes me. It's just that good. Also, my Skylanders are indeed pretty glorious. What I really need to be focusing on right now is my editing. So I'm going out to meet someone now, but whilst I'm gone, I've decided to export the Soul Link episode I was working on, so naturally, by the time I get back it should have finished. And to ensure my PC doesn't die halfway through the export, that's what I have the charger for. You guys didn't think I was going to go through this entire university trip alone, did ya? Ta-da! Yeah, that's right, me and Luke, we're effectively roomies because we are right outside his court right here. My court is literally that one down there.
Literally down there. We're so close to each other.
We are literally, in terms of my steps with my new trainers that you guys can barely see because I'm in selfie mode, we are literally about 2 steps away from one another.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
Anyway, as they say, great minds think alike, so both of us want to go and grab ourselves a Greggs because I have not had anything since breakfast.
And I've not ate all day.
How foolish, how very, very foolish.
I know.
This guy's being a skyful of foolishery.
Exactly.
Would you look at all of this glorious water right here? You know, it's one of the 8 base elements of Skylanders, so naturally that makes it glorious in of itself. But apart from that, sitting on top of the water is, of course, all the boats. It'd be kind of worthless if they were, you know, sitting on top of the land, because boats don't really tend to do well with land.
No, we do not.
Anyways, we're going to be crossing over with the bridges down the far end and hoping to find a Greggs on the other side. But what is so glorious about the other side is, well, not the boats, of course, because they're in the line in between the two sides. Therefore, it's not on the other side, it's between them. But as I digress, everyone's favourite phrase that I have seemed to need to use every single video. I'm trying to say this so fast I can't even say it. What's so glorious about that is the Odeon, which I've been trying to allude to this entire time and been failing at miserably. We just got a Greggs. At Greggs, picture that, getting a Greggs at Greggs.
That's strange, right? That's so strange.
Honestly, what were you fucking expecting?
I don't know.
Luke, would you stop it with your goddamn language? There's no need.
Luke, stop.
Ooh, cobblestone patterns, that'll be a good cobblestone pattern. Anyway, here are my bright shoes that I was alluding to earlier. You guys probably didn't see them due to my lack of selfie skills. Anyway, Luke has, first of all, a Wi-Fi around, and second of all, something to talk about with his Wii and the setting up of it.
Yeah, so I set up my Wii because I bought it because it was really cheap. And I set it up, all works fine. So I grabbed the controller, it's dead. And I'm like, I bought some batteries. I can't find the batteries. Even worse, my birth certificate has also gone missing.
That is one awkward sequence of events.
I know.
And don't even get us started on that fucking college Wi-Fi. I get him with a fucking swear, and what you like, honestly.
Yeah.
But seriously, that Wi-Fi, blinky lights, there must be a train. It keeps kicking in and out. It's so annoying when it fluctuates, especially when we're trying to listen to online lectures.
I know.
And the most annoying thing is that to register devices on the internet,
we first need the internet to register those devices. How are we supposed to register something to the internet, using internet, without internet in the first place?
This is why I sometimes switch to 4G, because that at least works.
My new contract is giving me unlimited data. Woohoo!
Yes!
Anyway, I hate to eat and run, but I literally have a classroom to find, so we're just gonna, you know, nibble on these as we make our way back. So I have, at the very least, found the building I was looking for, known as the Alfred Tennyson Building. It's going to be nice and easy to remember that, because Tennyson and Tennyson, you know, where's the difference? So I'm going to be getting to class as soon as I'm done with this clip. Luke has gone straight back to his accommodation, because this is one of the few classes that we don't share together. Since it's a face-to-face class, they had to limit the number of pupils that they had going into it at once. So naturally that meant that Luke got split into a group that wasn't with me. But fear not, because this will not be the end of Luke's appearance in this Skylanders video. In fact, he's going to be joining us tomorrow, which for you guys is going to be all of about 3 seconds. I told you that it wouldn't be gone long. In fact, if anything, 3 seconds was a bit of an exaggeration, because I literally just cut and instantly he was here.
Are you sure that isn't long? 3 seconds seems quite long.
Well, in the last 22 hours between the two cuts, basically nothing happened, because today is the next day. And the major thing is, of course, the weather is much nicer. So the wet hair right here doesn't have anything to do with rain this time around. Like
It's a shower, yeah.
Exactly, I am clean boy.
I had my shower earlier on before lectures.
Anyway, speaking of those lectures, we are now done with those for the day, so we have the rest of the day to ourselves.
We do. Let's go.
And today so happens to be Tuesday, which means a certain Smash fighter, which I had some very expressive thoughts about previously, has just came out.
Steve.
We are going to be checking out Steve.
Yeah.
The most fun thing about Steve is fun little ways you can say his name.
True that.
You can never get an old Steve tone can never get tired.
Oh no.
Ever. Also, through that bridge is where our accommodation is. It's virtually a walk away.
Right down there.
Well, yeah, literally, virtually a road walk away to be more specific.
Up that way is the river. So
Yep, with our legs, we'll be back at our accommodation about 2 steps.
that makes sense. Literally, I said all we have to do is watch movies, and we're like, what?
Yeah, our homework is basically to watch a movie, which is what Luke was alluding to right now.
I need to get access to Netflix though, which is a little bit of a hassle, but I'll find a way.
Life finds a way.
I might just have to pay for it, but then at least I'll have access to more stuff as well.
This is true. Anyway, we not only have swans over there, which are far more beautiful than Luke's face right now, which is why my camera's been avoiding it, with the exception of Luke narrowly making the frame right now. On top of that, we have a nice little island in the middle, a Wagamama right in front of Odeon. I find that a very strange name, and a buttload of leaves because you know it's exactly that.
Fall, as you Americans say.
How dare you interrupt me? I will make you fall now in fall.
Fall, guys.
That is actually a fun game. And ooh, boats! You know what pun I can make now? There are boatloads of leaves around.
And there's also boatloads of algae.
That is true. I wouldn't want to go for a swim in that, but you wanting to do for canoeing thing.
Do, yes.
Yeah, the canoeing society. You're going to wind up canoeing through this, and believe me, it is inevitable that you will fall out at some point.
If I do, I do. I don't give a crap as long as I don't have anything in my pocket.
That's a good point, actually. Keep it pocketless.
Oh, yeah. I'll have it in a bag like somewhere away from the shoreline.
So here are the Odeon and the Wagamama from a different angle, mind you. You've got to love that change of perspective, and it also puts into perspective just how wide that body of water is. It's ginormous to say the least. Like, more could be said, but it's not, which is why the least is being said all the same. Don't question it, just roll with it. Luke is talking about Buckaroo for some reason.
Yes, Buckaroo.
The only reason why I can remember it is because they recreated it for a Task and Taskmaster, for one and only reason. And also I'm loving this greenery, but that game behind it has definitely seen better days.
It truly has. It truly has.
Anyway, Buckaroo, details, go!
Well, if you don't know what a Buckaroo is, it's basically a game you have to bounce things on a horse.
And if you still don't know what it is, Future Ignite in the edit is going to insert the clips in the top left hand corner. You're welcome, though now Future Editing Ignite hates me.
He probably does.
The things I do out of the goodness of my heart for you guys.
And for future editing it.
Anyway, back to Buckaroo, because we kind of got a bit off topic right there. That's kind of our thing, that's how we roll, you could go as far as saying.
As I basically said, Buckaroo is a game where you have to bounce things on a horse, and if it jumps, you're basically lost.
That's all you had to say about Buckaroo.
I used to play it as a kid.
I also used to play it as a kid, and I lost practically every
It's
time.
like that game with the skull and the bones, and you have to take them off.
I also lost it just about every time.
Same. My aunt has it still. It's an old game.
Nostalgia, am I right?
Oh yeah.
Turns out I lied. The game is fine. It's just only open from the front, and the sides aren't actually windows. That's why they have it all boarded up.
Yeah.
But yeah, this would be the rest of centre-esque area of Lincoln right here.
Yeah. We're more in the commercial area. The old town's that way, I think.
Well, it still looks pretty damn cool, and that's all that matters, really.
Well, yeah, it is our new. It is our new home.
You know, I'm still filming this, right?
Oh.
I just so happen to have our feet in shot because they
Oh.
are the most glorious part of the both of
What
us.
I was basically going to say is that it is our new home after all.
That is true. That's exactly what it is. Congratulations for noticing that this is our new home. That was something very difficult to accomplish. Give this man a round of applause right here.
Yep.
Wow, well, would you look at that archway right there? Stop nerding out already! You're being far too loud. Stop it. But it is pretty impressive architecture. I'm definitely going to give it credit where it's due. And the pigeons, they're just adding to right there in their awesomeness. Wait, no, I take it back. I hate pigeons.
Pigeons are very British.
I always forget that I'm supposed to hate pigeons. And then when I remember, I start hating pigeons again. Ooh, this is cool, but why am I choosing to admire the bench patterns of all things? Ooh. Anyway, we're going to be heading towards CEX so that then I can bring out everyone's favourite phrase.
As I
No, not that one, you idiot. It's time to finally put the hunt in Skylanders hunting. Duh.
You tricked me.
Why would you think I was going to say as I digress, you fool? As if I ever say that. Why would I say those three specific words in a phrase where they are combined? It makes no sense. It does not match my character in the slightest. I've never said such a thing. Oh my gosh, would you look at all of these figures? It is so glorious.
It is glorious.
Lincoln is officially perfect. Now we have, you know, some great architecture right down the road, quite literally. And we have all of these Twist Life figurines to hunt down.
Yeah.
You really don't get much better than this. This is true perfection at hand. They even have rare ones like Bad Juju, Wolfgang, Splat, who's semi-rare, Night Shift and all. Definitely some huge fan favourites right there.
I bet your fan base is screaming right now.
Yeah, they are. They're also kind of jealous that I can actually hunt down Skylanders because they are pretty hard to come by these days. I picked up 2 Blu-rays there. I got Hell or High Water because when I tried to get it in Nottingham, they couldn't find it. So I was trying to find out whether this was a cursed film or not. It isn't because they actually found it this time.
Yep.
And then the third man is Luke that Luke picked out. So it was terrible. I got to blame him.
Yeah, I saw it, so I thought we both might be interested in it. So
Yeah, it's a vintage classic, so I will definitely be checking that out later to see what it has in store for
of
me.
course, yeah.
Not for him, of course, it's Blu-ray and he doesn't have a PS4, so he can't come anywhere near it.
I know.
It makes me laugh.
Plus we
The
can't
torture you must go
enter
through
each
not
other's
being
doors.
able to watch my Blu-rays and all.
Oh yeah.
Also, how dare you speak over me, how terribly rude of you, old sir.
It's a criminal offence, you know.
It's also a criminal offence for him to play as Ganondorf. We might as well change the law and make that illegal.
Ganondorf, yes.
Narrow road up steep hill. Let's just say it's called steep hill for a reason. It might as well be given a 100-degree gradient on just how steep this is.
We aren't the too steep part yet.
Yep, it only gets steeper from here, quite literally. But anyway, we're heading in the direction of that glorious cathedral right there because you've seen it from the exterior, so it's time for us to check out what's inside that beauty. Crack it open like an egg. Not that he likes eggs.
No, I don't.
Tis a tiny door, and there's Luke for the sake of scaling.
Yeah, it's small.
That really puts things into perspective for you.
Well, we are both taller than most, but still, even though average height people couldn't fit through that.
£19? You can pay me £19 if I happen to bend that low to fit through this here door.
I wouldn't assume it is the main door though. There has to be another entrance on the other.
Most likely. I remember when we said this hill is getting steeper. Well,
No,
this
it
right
is.
here is what we meant.
Oh yeah. This is where it gets steep.
Turns out that there's an award known as Britain's Great Street, and for Steep Hill of all things won it back in 2012. And this just goes to show that we did not give this road here the nickname of Steep Hill. That is its legal official name. They weren't lying when they made that name, were they?
Oh no.
Mr. Pinton and Panton.
They were totally right when we named it Steep Hill.
You are wee unfit is what you are.
I know I am.
Anyway, as we're heading closer to that cathedral, and that right there is the castle entrance. I know it looks glorious, but we're going to be saving that for a later date.
Ooh.
I can't even get this entire thing in one shot from this close up, because as you can see, this thing is ginormous. marvellous. Video footage really does not do it justice, to say the least. So Luke, aka Exposition Dump for Human Being,
Yes.
what do you have to say about the cathedral here?
Well, a little bit of history is that this isn't entirely original because an earthquake split the whole thing into two. So it means you have to build the whole thing again. And the only part which is original is, I believe, the wall, big wall behind us, and the left lower part.
This is a lot of dynamic camera movement right here.
Very, very dynamics. Well, still, this is almost 900 years old as it is. So it's still really old.
And you know what we, for one word I use to describe all that even? Well, it could be we, but in this case it's me. Brilliant.
Exactly.
And that is why this guy is the exposition dude for human being. And yes, I just said being. I'm taking the mickey out of 13 Reasons Why.
Human being.
No, you're a human being is what you are. Did I not just say that? It is time for the never before seen grand unveiling of Luke's handwriting.
It's terrible.
It is terrible, I agree with that statement. Feet of the sculpture. Ooh, stained glass windows. It's up to you guys to decide which is better. I mean, I'm personally a big fan of the feet, but I suppose those stained glass windows are pretty awesome as well. Ooh, more stuff on the internality of this here cathedral. Yep, and it's also pretty high up. I just about dropped my phone in the process of that incredible pan. I know, very impressive. And speaking of impressive, we have these awesome sculptures along the walls right
There's a
here.
bit you haven't seen yet.
There's a lot we haven't seen yet. Look at them poking themselves out right there. Anyway, we are currently down the midst of a long, quiet hallway, which is clearly that of Hogwarts.
Oh yes.
100%, you couldn't get more crystal clear Hogwarts images than what you see before
We're
you.
all students at Hogwarts, you see.
I have one word for you. Only one. Wow. If it wasn't Hogwarts before, it certainly is now. Also, we have developed knowledge on that tomb from earlier, don't we, Luke?
Yeah, it's an of a bishop. It's not just an effigy. It's an actual tomb.
So basically, it's cool. My descriptive word for everything around here that I don't understand.
It's scary that there's like a 500 to 600-year-old body in there.
That is pretty true, to say the least. Ooh, some amazing brickwork. You know how we love our brickwork.
Well, it's stone.
Who cares? Brick, stone are basically the same thing. Anyway, this room is dome-like and it's glorious. And Luke had an awesome analogy for that there, architecture, didn't you?
It basically looks like the underside of a mushroom.
And that's why I called it an awesome analogy of the same, because that analogy is awesome.
Yes.
Look at what was hiding behind that pillar right there. Pretty sweet. And what I love about cathedrals are just the sheer attention to detail. Look at the increments on just this face of a wall. And this is one wall face. These increments are found everywhere, all around the entire building.
It's also insane how they make stained glass.
And did we mention this place is massive? Because, you know, it's pretty massive, to say the least.
Yes, this is only like one half, so...
That is true. And in case you still don't get it, this place is massive. This place is basically massive. What's this place, Luke?
Massive.
In case they don't know, still, it's basically massive.
It is.
Are you sure it's massive? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's massive, but are you sure it's massive? Luke basically said yes, he didn't hear it. That seems like some pretty impressive looking marble right there.
Marble.
I'm taking...
You said marble.
I know I said marble, I said it purposefully, but Luke said it by accident because he accidentally called this marble right here Marvel. I couldn't blame him, it is a pretty great company after all. And one other thing, in case you still didn't know, this place is massive.
Oh my god.
To hereby emphasise the fact that this place is massive, this place is indeed pretty massive. Yes, that was exactly the state I wanted to see you in. Mission accomplished, boys. Just to add to the incredibleness of these here increments on the wall, they were chiselled by hand. That would have took people of the time period, specifically their entire lives practically, because back then the life expectancy was around 30 years old, so naturally speaking, with this cathedral having taken so long to have been built, that's what would have made it their life's work.
Mm-hmm.
Also, candles. Ooh, candles. I like these nice candles, especially since we can't actually have them in our Lincoln accommodation because they are a fire hazard. I love me a good pull focus, so I'm gonna do it again. Once again, my footage cannot do this justice. And then on top of that, this is the very back of the cathedral, I believe. There's also all of that gloriousness standing right opposite to that stained glass window right there. And of course, these chairs, let's be honest, these are clearly the best part of the entire cathedral. 100% without a shadow of sarcasm or doubt. How smooth can I make this pan? Not very smooth, apparently.
What was that?
Oh, well, I got a good laugh out of him at least, but I tell you what, the second pan is far more smooth. Just to clarify, I'm not incompetent at panning, I just create that awful pan for comedic effect. Oh crap, I just did it again. Ha ha, Luke made pretty picture.
Using my phone to start you recording literally what it is to your left. Damn it, he did it.
Just to clarify, when Luke said, oh boy, he did it again, or something along those lines, what he was referring to was my terrible panning skill.
That might be true.
And by might be, he means it is. Because we've got to be, you know, very specific on these videos. So those are the spikes in full frame that you saw beforehand, and accompanying them is this awesome hallway right here. That is the dictionary definition even of glory. Like seriously, you look up glory in the dictionary and you will see for several screenshots of this here hallway. I love it. I would be saying for this shot right now that I'm using a dolly, but that would be a lie, so therefore that's why I'm not saying that. But we're going to continue tracking along this here corridor anyway, because it is quite glorious, and it leads us back here where there's more stained glass windows with terrible natural lighting, and of course this awesome statue in full frame. Therefore you can even say that this statue has a frame to call its own. We've been framed.
We have been framed.
I mean, that wasn't very smooth. We're just going to have to deal with it all the same.
Yes, we are.
Smooth, that was not.
Yes, definitely not.
So as you can tell, we're back to the main area to make our exit and continue to explore Lincoln. And also, for one final thing to look at, staring down this entire hallway is that magnificent organ right there. Would you look at that? Luckily for me, Luke, I happen to be an organ donor, which I'm sure will come in handy if I were to die right now and somebody happened to need an organ and I still had fresh in my body.
Yes.
That joke took a horrid twist.
It did.
Let's just put it like this. It's one of those situations where, ooh, wooden board.
Wow.
No, it's just much better in my head than it actually came out to be.
Yeah, I think it did.
Ooh, more wooden boards.
Oh my god.
I cannot be taken too seriously.
No.
One last shot of a cathedral, I promise. Oh shit, I'm not even in selfie mode.
No, you're not.
As I was saying, one final shot of a cathedral, I promise you, because as you can see, that is its height for us mere mortals, just literally 6 feet below it.
Yes, definitely.
This is like comparing, you know, a tiny little ant to the might of a giant from Jekyll and Beanstalk.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this feels like. And I have no problems with that whatsoever, because this thing right here, it's magnificent. Jinx.
Boom.
So clearly, when I said that last shot of the cathedral was going to be the last in this video, I lied, because we just checked out the side portion of the building, and man, it's very awesome,
It is.
for lack of a better word.
Oh, yeah.
And me and Luke both distinctively, or instinctively even, whipped out our phones whenever we saw it. Media students in a nutshell, that one.
Yep.
This is what we call pretty awesome. Oh yeah, I suppose we call that pretty awesome as well. But yeah, this is a kind of like conservation-based area, I believe. I'm sure Luke will correct me on that in a minute once I pan right round to him.
Your head ruined my shot.
Haha. That's what I love, sabotage and disguise as shots. Anyway, there are plenty of pennies in this here fountain-esque area, so that brings me to something I have for Luke of all people. Wow, would you look at all this money that people have tossed in here? If I was to take it, I'd become a millionaire in no time, but I'm not going to do such a thing because that would be cursed.
It would also be a criminal offence.
Anyway, that coin I was alluding to earlier is this right here. It is a 1944 halfpenny.
Ooh.
So you know how you like collecting coins?
Yes.
I have a present for you.
You sure?
Yes, I'm not sure what it's worth, but to you it's going to be worth a lot more than its value in money.
I don't think it's worth much, but seriously, that's epic.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say to you. That's what I'm trying to say. Even to you, it's going to mean more value to you than what it is any money value.
Thank you.
That's how value works.
Thank you.
What can I say except you're welcome?
welcome.
Please never do that ever again.
Okay.
Great, now I'm never going to get that image out of my head. So this is going to be one of the last clips before we head back to the Lincoln accommodation, but I just wanted to point out the fact that down this wonderful street is a street called James Street, not the Royal Mail Street, because that was a van, not a street, you idiots. So yes, it's time to honour an old friend of Luke's, and make it quick because I only have 4%.
Right, I'll be quick. So James, he of course passed away when I was 16, and he wanted to go to uni to open a charity, basically, by learning business. The world always takes the best people, bless him.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have met him. But unfortunately, that's just how, literally, life falls apart sometimes.
Yeah, it does, sadly.
Ooh, flags.
Ooh, flags.
How dare you copy me?
I don't know.
That is not the answer I was looking for, but I suppose it's one we're going to have to deal with all the same. Yeah, wait, I've made that quote already! It's, as they say, repetition for effect.
Aha, true.
It's time for us to return to Luke's worst nightmare, steep hill, but fortunately we're going down it this time rather than up it.
Yes, we are.
That's going to be highly more satisfactory to say the least, and also I clutched out that last clip, thank heavens for that.
You did.
You said it 3 times over.
You did.
That's beyond repetition for effect,
did.
that's just being dumb.
You did.
Oh, this guy, what is he like, honestly?
Crazy.
On second thoughts, do not answer that. You'll wind up, you know, writing an entire angry essay email about this guy, otherwise. This right here is what we call a pretty cool side street. Yes, somehow I didn't botch that up. It's a bit of a tongue twister, and yet I somehow spoke straight through it all. Not that your voice itself can be straight, but, you know, I said that anyway. Luke would notice is the street where he took one of his favourite photos. Steve was taking forever to download, but still Luke's mobile data is enacting much better than what the Wi-Fi back at the university is.
Oh, yeah.
And Luke was actually right about something for once. It's a miracle, I tell you, because he said his data must work better at surface level. He was correct, because the download is now taking much faster than what it did at the top of Steep Hill up there.
It did, I know.
I cannot believe he was actually right about something for once. What kind of alternate universe have I walked into?
The universe with, what's his name? Spider-Man Welcome On.
Well, one that can't possibly exist, for starters, because Luke actually has brain cells in this universe.
No way.
Also, there's a river down there that looks pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah, don't mind me some nice architecture. Then again, why would I mind that?
I don't know.
Yes, more floor patterns getting in there. Also some awesome graffiti work over there, which I do quite admire. And the Greggs, which I would zoom in right now if my second hand wasn't busy holding my Switch for dear life.
Thanks.
You literally just had it yesterday. I don't think you need another one. In fact, I think we was there virtually 24 hours ago now.
Probably, yeah.
That's just how time works, guys. It kind of moves forward. Unless you're watching Tenet, of course.
Yeah, true.
In which case, the real time goes by, actually flies by, and the time of the movie goes all over the place.
Yeah, it does.
As you can tell, we're now at the place where we first saw Luke, so we can draw a full circle successfully, so I can tell him to fuck off so I can get home in peace already. Yeah, goodbye, see you dude. So now that full circle's been drawn, I'm literally going to walk to my court, which is only just that away, and go to bed most probably, even though it doesn't seem it's that late with the, you know, lighting right now. That's just how the UK works. It's surprisingly light a lot of the time. As I speak to you guys right now, you can see on this here portion of the screen some CX purchases I'm making, so that's going to set up perfectly for me to be unpacking those in a later episode. But for the moment being, we have drawn one entire full circle this episode, and it would appear that that full circle has a hole. But I have another full circle to draw that's going to fill in that hole, so you know, it's a circle's hole inside a circle's hole. But if you look more closely at both these circles, you'll realise that that circle has got a hole in it of itself. So therefore, it's not really a circle at all. Yeah, that was just one long reference to Knives Out right there, or at least the ending scene of it all.
The hole at the center of this donut. And what you and Harlan did that fateful night seems at first glance to fill that hole perfectly. A donut hole in a donut's hole. But we must look a little closer. And when we do, we see the donut hole has a hole in its center. It is not a donut hole, but a smaller donut with its own hole. And our donut is not a hole at all.
With that clip out of the way, this secondary full circle I'm referring to is that of starting this video in Loughborough with a similar shot to this one you see before you. So naturally we're going to be returning to Loughborough because today I have started uni, and we're going to look back at me finishing my previous school, Loughborough College. So this vlog was originally intended for a stroll through the movies, but it works just as well as a Skylanders hunting clip because it does feature some Skylanders hunting, which was referenced all the way back in the glorious reboot. So yes, we are going to see the context around that hunt that we saw a small snippet of in that very episode. But yes, I sure hope you guys enjoy the Loughborough vlog. As I was previously alluding to, it was my last time ever entering Loughborough College, so naturally I feel like that's going to be a nice way to end off the video, you know. After having started one school, we get to check out the final finishing days of another. And if you guys were in my opinion based on my first 3 days of university, man, it has been fun. It's been great having Luke as a neighbour. The lectures have been so informative and really, really fun, to be frank with all of you. The main disappointment really is that the Wi-Fi here is terrible, so watching the lectures can become more torturous when they keep on lagging out. But enough of my crazy voices, because my roommates are absolute legends for starters, so they have been a ton of fun to interact with. We all have amazing chemistry with one another, and it's just been an absolute blast staying up till ridiculous times at night and waking up ridiculously early in the morning. I thought work was bad, but university is much worse. All that party raving and all. I say that despite the fact that I haven't had any parties yet. But that's basically going to do it for this here video. So again, I hope you guys enjoy the Loughborough clip I have planned for all of you, and I will see you guys for the next episode of Skylanders Hunting. But until that moment arises, peace. Ah, there it is, the wondrous Baxter Gate emerging from behind that there bus poster. But regardless of the location and the setting, today's stroll through the movies is not going to include a stroll through Cineworld, because unfortunately, as of the recording date of this video, they are still closed. Which is quite unfortunate, because they were supposed to open a few weeks ago, but due to the delaying of Tenet, they had to delay the reopening of the cinemas to correspond with that. But regardless, in saying this, I've probably really dated this video without a doubt. So last time I was down here, that part of the building was still under construction, but it seems as though over the course of the lockdown they've managed to get that finished up, so it looks quite glorious, especially with the top of that building. Don't think I've ever noticed that before, but it's a very nice shade of yellow, to say the least. So we've got a building right here with some very interesting architecture. I feel like I'm acting just like Luke right now, but regardless, back there's a crane right behind all of the I Love Market signs, mind you, just without the eye. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, look at that, it's so cute. I'm so tempted to go on it. Not really, but regardless, I'm going to get myself a Greggs because I haven't had it in forever. But man, I truly am turning into Luke now. First I'm geeking out about architecture, and now I'm getting myself a Greggs, to say the least. What's next, an Oasis? Yummy Greggs. If you don't mind me, I'll just be enjoying this right next to my bike right here. What's the perfect way to maintain social distancing? Tape, of course. Regardless, there's lots of greenery over here, so that looks pretty nice. And Town Hall with that glorious looking clock looks nice also, if of course these market stalls weren't blocking my path, mind you. So here we have the back of the Stockman as well as the Town Hall up close, because I tell you what, the market stalls didn't do this building justice after it blocked the view, mind you, not my path, but hey, sometimes that's just what you see at the moment. Regardless, we might as well check out the front side of Stockman as well, because, you know, that's the glorious side of it. And I accidentally just called them Stockman then. It's like I've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on my mind. So right here we have another Greggs, but that's not what we're interested in. We're interested in the CEX. So CEX actually have Skylanders on display for once, which is always glorious to see, especially when it comes to the boom jets, because there's 2 of them, and that's glorious for one main reason: he is the greatest swapper. So once I checked the back of the store, I discovered 2 things. First of all, their huge and varied 4K Ultra HD movie collection, including the Emoji Movie, and believe me, that terrible movie is not worth a price tag. But regardless, on top of that, there's also a back door with a secret entrance to a car park that I only just discovered, so that's cool, I suppose. Won't you just look at all those Blu-rays and all of their glorious glory. I can't wait to buy far too many of these and showcase my haul. So I'm now done with CX back there, and as you can tell I have a strap for my tripod, which was rubbing a lot of my bike. Not that you can even see the tripod thanks to my awful camera skills. As I digress, I'm returning back to college right now, so gonna be fun to literally get this off my shoulders. There we have the Griffin, awesome name for a pub right there. Regardless, this is a bit of a crazy double junction here, you know, a bit of an X. I have no idea what you even call these in terms of road terminology. What's important is that you have a really awesome looking Sainsbury's over there. Just look at those windows. For some reason they are just really, really glorious. So we got a bunch more greenery over here and over there. It's quite glorious indeed. And then right next to said greenery is going to be a really good Indian restaurant known as Mount Gurkhas. So it's just cool to check out this part of Loughborough that I normally never see unless I'm going to college, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. Man, It's just such a weird sentence for me to have just said, remind you. Rather typical of the UK here, it has started to rain suddenly and inexplicably. Also, you can tell from that leaf rolling right there what the wind is like, but you might not be able to see the rain from the atmosphere above, mind you, but you certainly can see it in the pavement below. All of these little dots and splodges, you could say, are all raindrops. Thank you for nothing, you useless country. Oh boy, dangerous alleyway that clearly has not been well maintained will ignite. You can get out of this alive. Regardless, right round this corner you'll notice there is a park that is completely abandoned. I feel so sorry for parks, they're so neglected during the midst of the pandemic, mind you. Same with basketball courts. Man, no one deserves that amount of neglect or abandonment. Man, it's so bland and barren. This time of year seems around college, you know, I've never seen it this quiet before. So I'm leaving college now with the burden of that tripod off my shoulders, so I'm most likely never going to have to go into that building ever again since I'm officially done with college now. So goodbye college, it was nice knowing you. Not really, that's a lie, I'm glad it's over. Also, hair, can you get the fuck out of my face? Oh, would you look at that, the Carillion is just kind of poking its head through the vision of these trees right here, and in case you still can't see it, here's a nice little cut-in for you. You're welcome. Oh wow, look at that fancy building right there. Regardless, you guys might have caught a small glimpse of this painting earlier on. But man, it is glorious. The only problem I have with it is that there is no way that person likes oranges more than me. Love me a good orange. Wow, all this looks familiar, except from this time I'm travelling in the opposite direction and on the opposite side of the road, mind you. But apart from that, I'm definitely getting that strange sense of deja vu. Regardless, we're going to take a left at the end of Sainsbury's in order to head down to Tesco's to pick up a few bits and bobs and check out Blu-rays before we get back to my bike, mind you. So there's that giant crane again that we saw earlier, and on the side of that bus, we might not be able to see it, but it has an Onward advertisement, which is both outdated because Onward was in cinemas ages ago, and the cinemas aren't even open, and even if they were, Onward still wouldn't be showing because nobody went to go and see that fantastic movie. Ooh, patterns on the path. I love me some patterns on the path. It has been a while since I've even seen this part of town as well, the Emma Rooms, but without further ado, let's be getting up the my dreaded enemy, so to say, the stairs, or at least post-dreaded enemy, mind you. I have always loved the view from up here, but regardless, are we spending less or saving more is the question. Tesco would make it seem one way, but technically it could still be the other. Speaking of Tesco, let's be heading inside and checking out what they got. Here we are with all of the Blu-rays in front of us, and man, they have some really great films here, like Spies in Disguise. I actually really enjoyed that one. The Invisible Man, which has been on way too high a price for its rentals for far too long. And there's several other great movies, mind you, some of which are even 2 for $25, so you've got to respect that. Ah, the Carillion Court, so great to see this in its entirety for the first time in the last few months, mind you. This whole video is all sentimentality, isn't it? But I have no problems with that whatsoever, especially when it involves a giant statue as glorious as that right in front of our very eyes. Bonkers. I'm so glad I get to say that again. Watching pigeon, you're right in the middle of the old school cobblestone roundabout right here, normally for where the taxis situate itself. But as I digress, we have gone in one big loop, you could say, because my bike is just right over there. You can even see the town hall once again, thanks to my zoom in skill right there. So this is basically where the town-in portion of this vlog comes to an end. Ooh, more tape and more pigeons, so glorious.